Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm surrounded by makeup that I haven't sorted out since my live. My dad's not been very well today, so my head's chaos and the table in front of me's chaos. But anyway, I said to you that I was going to do some requested swatches. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to do a plug for this t-shirt. Now, I'm not on any commission, but you'll realise why I'm plugging it. And it's a t-shirt that says we're all in this together, and it's a rainbow. It's a lovely design, looks really flattering cut, and it's sold by Marks and Spencer's. They're just flying off the shelves at the moment, so you may not get this design, but have a look because they keep refreshing the stock every day. The profits go to the NHS Charities. So they're $9.99, but I think something like $5.95 of that goes to NHS Charities in order to say thank you. And I just thought it was a great way to clap for carers tonight. And I've got one for Mick as well. And the men's ones have just got the little logo on the side, because, you know, men don't like great big logos generally. They tend to go for the more subtle logos. And so I got him one in navy blue. And so yeah, I wanted to plug that because I think it's really important to support the NHS and also the carers. I wish it says NHS Charities, so I'm hoping that includes carers and stuff, but I'm doing lots for my dad's care home as well, and making them masks and sent them chockies and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to support them as best I can as well. Okay, so let's get on with some of the requests. Now, yesterday on my live, I had a few requests, and over the last few days I did. So I'm glad I'm not doing this live, because I can go and make sure that I check on all the requests and don't leave any out. So, and I could also shout out to you all. So there you go. So let's get going. Now, the first request I know was about looking at some of the coral lipsticks against Tom Ford, and I know a few of you have said Tom Ford's a bit expensive. Can you kind of compare with Charlotte Tilbury and maybe some more drugstore ones? Well, I've got quite a few corals, so I thought let's do that so that you can see some of the alternatives. Okay, so before we get started, I thought let's just take out the two true corals and maybe Tom Ford Wild Ginger, so that we've got something to compare them to. So that is the original true coral, full size, which is lovely. And if you're going to use it a lot, as I said, I think it might be a little bit better value to get the full size. Okay, and then the true coral metallic, just bringing that right up to the screen. And then I'll do the true coral metallic. I'm trying to remember to bring the arm right up to the screen, because I keep having to, when I'm editing, move the shot around so that I can get it in vision. So this is the true coral metallic. So there's very little difference between them, but you are getting a lot more for your money from the original. But if you do like that kind of subtle shimmer, I would say this is probably more a true coral, because this has got slightly more pink in it. But again, once it's on your lips, probably you can't notice too much. Okay, so that's the true coral. I will show you Wild Ginger as well, because that's the one that is not coral, but it's orange. So you can see them next to one another. Okay, I'm going to confuse you because I brought out a fourth one as well to show you. So this one is Wild Ginger. Can you see now? Coral, bit more pink, definitely orange. Okay, and Wild Ginger has got a metallic version, which I haven't got yet. But the reason that I'm not as tempted to go for the metallic version of Wild Ginger is because of my very first Tom Ford lipstick purchase, which is Hiro, which is really a metallic Wild Ginger. It's not called metallic Wild Ginger, it's called Hiro, Hiro, and you can get this in the clutch size. And also, now that looks a bit pink, but it's not. It's definitely kind of a golden orange. Okay, but you can get that in the clutch size and the full size. It's called Hiro. I'll put all the details below. Okay, so those are the 4 Tom Ford lipsticks. All right, and I'm going to put a picture of them here. Okay, let's try on some Charlotte Tilbury, shall we? So, now Tell Laura, I would say, is very similar to Wild Ginger because it is a true orange. And I've left myself now no room to put it next to the other one. Let's put it here at the side, vertically. So Tell Laura, if you want one that's like Wild Ginger, very similar. Okay, let me show you this one. This is also very similar to one that's done by Urban Decay, which I bought as well, and I can't remember the name of it. I wish I was better at remembering names. I'm going to put it on voiceover, but there is one that's very similar to this by Urban Decay, and I've got it, and it is a bright orange. Okay, so I'll put that on voiceover here. It's called Bang, and it's a Urban Decay lipstick. I did get a lip liner, an orange lip liner that went with this from Urban Decay called Crash, which is even more intense orange, and is probably closer to this. Now they do a matching lipstick called Crash, which is a matte lipstick, but it's only online exclusive. So yeah, that would probably be slightly closer to this lipstick, but otherwise Bang is the one to go for. Okay, just to let you know that this is red. I've got my red headband on today, not my coral, and I just thought that's important to let you know in case you're comparing it with my headband and the lighting. This is not coral today, this is my red one. Okay, now the next one is Hot Emily. Now this is the one that I think is probably the closest fit to True Coral by Tom Ford. I'm going to put this one on. Let me just see if I can. So these are the 2 True Corals. So I'm going to put it next to these so that you can see. Can you see what I mean? Actually, I said yesterday quite incorrectly that it was nearer to the orange, but it's actually nearer to the pink. I think it's probably nearer to the metallic one. I'm going to take a photograph of these next to one another so you can see, but it looks actually, no, when I'm looking at it, it looks closer to orange, definitely. I was right. It's just in this light you can't really see it, but it looks closer to orange than pink, whereas this is a sort of perfect combination. I'm going to put it on so that you can see. So that is Hot Emily. I tell you what I'm going to do, because I know that you were all really interested in how similar this was to the Tom Ford. I'm going to take it off my top lip, and I'll put the Tom Ford on my top lip, and let's see how much of a difference we see. I'll put the original on because this is not metallic. Right, so True Coral going on my upper lip. See when you get it on your lips, very little difference. Probably this comes across as a bit brighter. Let me take this off, Charlotte Tilbury one off my bottom lip now so that you can see true coral. They look the same on the lips. So yeah, if you want a dupe of true coral, go for Hot Emily. Okay, now, then moving on, we had a couple of requests. I'm going to take this off, I'll be right back. Okay, busy scrolling through live chat from yesterday, and I think it was Jess. Jess mentioned Coachella Coral. So I'm just going to show you that. Now, Coachella Coral, you can see, is a lighter kind of salmon pink to this. It's similar. It is similar, but it's lighter. Sorry, my screen just said my battery's running low. So that's Coachella Coral. It's quite a bit lighter. So if I put that above here, you will see Coachella Coral and more pink. You see now that's looking orange because you've got it next to pink. But what I love about this is it's a perfect combination of pink and orange. It's neither one or the other. You see that's more orangey. When you see them together, your eyes get confused. But this, I would say, is more on the pink side. Everyone's got their different interpretations of what coral means. I've noticed that when I was looking for coral tops, and I wanted to get the coral that's in true coral. And some places did it, and other places you'd look up coral top and you'd get that sort of coral, or, you know, there's different interpretations. To me, it is as much orange as there's pink. That's coral for me. There shouldn't be too much pink, there shouldn't be too much orange. You shouldn't be able to tell whether it's pink or orange, and that to me is a coral. This to me is more pink. It's an interpretation of coral, but not my interpretation. This one's pinker. It's still coral, but you know what I mean. It's got too much pink in it. Okay, so that's Coachella Coral. Okay, before I move on, I actually found a lipstick that I'd forgotten all about, which is Urban Decay Tilt. And as you can see it here next to True Coral, and then I've put Hot Emily underneath. Now, Urban Decay Tilt is actually a matte formula, so, and it's really pigmented, and it's cheaper than Charlotte Tilbury, definitely cheaper than Tom Ford. So I thought I'd throw that one in, and you're going to see it on my lips in a minute. Now, I've just been out to the shops and my mascara and everything's run everywhere, so you're just seeing my lips. Okay, but that's Urban Decay Tilt. And then I thought I'd throw in some other drugstore corals. So at the top you've got L'Oreal Rouge Gold Obsession. Not rose gold, Rouge Gold Obsession. In the middle is not drugstore, but it's Estee Lauder Defiant Coral, which has got a lot more pink. It's not what I'd call coral, but it's lovely, it's beautiful. And then at the bottom you'll see, and I've forgotten the name and the thing's covering it up, but Rimmel Coral in Gold, that's right. Before I move on to the next request, just throwing a couple more in. Sexy Sienna is a light, if you really like that, so I'm going to show you that. So perfect mixture of pink and orange, but lighter, if you fancy that one. I haven't used that for ages and I'm loving that. I might put that on later. Okay, and then the other one, before I moved on, was Super Cindy, which is sort of more peachy, but I thought it was worth a mention. I'll just take this off and I'll put that on. Okay, Super Cindy. I think this goes quite nicely with the peachiness of this palette. And this palette is the new palette in Desert Haze. More peach than pinky coral, but nevertheless one to consider. Okay, now moving on to the next request, which is from Maria Lovell. Okay, I'm getting my lovely Wonderglow filter coming through the window now. When you all start saying I've got lovely skin, and it's actually the sun coming in at the window. No, thank you. I really appreciate it, but I love it when the sun hits my face like this. Okay, so Maria asked about medium pillow talk. So let me just put, and of course it's not very good for swatches. I'm going to put it here and I'll put the picture in between. Let's put medium pillow talk on. So Maria wanted to know how similar medium pillow talk was to Secret Salma. And she's right, they're quite close. I'm just going to show you Secret Salma. Can you see that? I'm going to put a photo, so if you can't see it very well for the sunlight, don't worry, a photo's going to come up next. So I'll put Secret Salma underneath. So Secret Salma's got a lot more pink in it. I think that shows there. All right, this is more of a kind of nude colour. Secret Salma has got a lot more pink. Okay, but what is very similar, and I'm just going to pop over to Charlotte Tilbury for a minute and see if it's available. Yes, it is still available. So I wanted to show you this. This is Supermodel. Now, before Medium Pillow Talk came out, I nicknamed this Medium Pillow Talk because it is. It's just, I'm going to put this one above. I'm sorry about the lighting, folks, but I'll put all the three together at the end. They are so similar. So similar that you can barely tell the difference between them. Let me just show you. I'm just going to get a wipe, take this off. I'll do the same actually. I'll take the bottom part of this off and I'll put Supermodel on instead. So, Pillow Talk Medium. And now I'm going to put Supermodel. My lip's still wet from that cloth to remove it. They're virtually the same. Pillow Talk's got slightly more pink in it. But look, if I went out like that, no one would say she's got a different lipstick on her upper lip. Crazy. Right, I'll leave that photo in between. So we've got Supermodel, Pillow Talk Medium and Secret Salma. Okay, the next request was from someone called Tanya Elgard. Hello, Tanya. And Tanya said, could you perhaps please swatch the tan bronzer next to the airbrush powder in shade 2 medium, because that really suits my under eyes. Now, it's going to be difficult to swatch a powder because it's not really designed to show up too much, but I'll try my best. What I thought I would do, though, is to hold one up next to the other so that you can see it next to the other. Now, I have a feeling, I'm not quite sure why you would want to compare something you put under your eyes to a bronzer. But you're probably trying, I'm guessing that you're trying to work out whether to get tan or medium. Okay, so let me just show you, this lighting's terrible. I'm going to take a picture. The bronzer in tan is quite a bit darker. Okay, it's probably closer to Airbrush shade 3. And I'm guessing that probably you would want to go for the medium bronzer. If that's why you're asking this. But let me just see if I'll do my best to swatch the airbrush powder, and I think you'll see, actually I can swatch it. I can at least look, let me do it that way. So that is the airbrush powder on my finger. I think once I swatch it on my arm, it's going to blend into my skin because powder's designed to do that. Setting powder. Now, if I swatch you the bronzer, you'll see it's quite a bit darker. So I think probably your question probably stems from whether you should get medium or tan. Now, I've been looking on Charlotte's website about this whole, should I get medium, should I get tan? And of course it's personal choice. Some people like to see a bit more of bronzer, right? It's like, what was it Rebecca said? Go hard or go home. You know, if you're going to get a bronzer, you don't want it to be too subtle. And I'm actually on the cusp, I think, between medium and tan. And I often am with Charlotte Tilbury products. The same with her Film Star Bronze and Glow. You know, one is a little bit too light, the other one's a little bit too dark, but different times of the year I swap around. Charlotte actually says that the medium bronzer, you should go for the medium bronzer if you're anything up to shade 8 warm in the airbrush foundation, which means that I should have in fact gone for the medium and not the tan. But again, it's about personal preference. And when Sophia was doing a demonstration, she used, she surprised me actually, because Sophia, I would have said, is about a shade 5, probably neutral in airbrush foundation from looking at her skin. But she put on shade 7 neutral. And then she applied tan bronzer, and it's the same with the contour ones. You know, I didn't know whether to get medium or light to medium or medium to tan, and in the end I end up veering towards medium to tan. And then I've seen plenty of tutorials after the event where Charlotte has put medium to tan on really fair skin. So I think it's also about what look you want to go for. And in the summer, we all want to have a bit more of a noticeable bronzing effect, don't we? And maybe in the winter, our skin is lighter to start off with, and we don't want to go around looking as bronzed up. So I think I'll probably go for medium in the winter time, definitely. And I think it will look really nice on me. But at the moment, the tan is looking okay. So if you're not sure, I would sort of think, try not to get into too much of what the rules say, but whether or not you like a noticeable bronze effect or whether you like a subtle one. If you like a subtle bronzed effect, if you don't like it to look like you've got too much bronzer on, then follow the recommendations on the website for anything up to shade 8. Then go for medium. If you want it to be a bit more noticeable and you're around 7 and 8, you might want to go for tan. I hope that helps. I think if you're using this airbrush powder in shade 3, then you're definitely going to want to go for tan, because I think then you'll be sort of airbrush foundation 10 and above. So it's all these things to weigh up, but please do continue asking me questions, because I'm always glad to help. And now I hope I've got an awful feeling I may have missed out some other requests. If I have, please comment below. And I've decided I'm going to make a regular feature of this called Ask Ali. And I won't do it live. I'll do it like this, so that I can get the products and I can put them photographs up so that you can see the photographs and prepare the things in advance. So I'm going to do another kind of slot, and I'm going to think about when I do that. Maybe my live's on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, so maybe I'll do a kind of regular Ask Ali slot on, yeah, why don't I do it on Thursday? Because then I can do it after I've done the live and you still got questions in your head that you can put underneath my live. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. And if I have missed your request, if anybody's asked me to swatch something and I've missed it, I've got an awful feeling I have. I'm not doing it deliberately. I'm just struggling to remember all of them. If I think of it, I'll come back in a minute and go, oh, yes, I've remembered. But if I've missed you, it wasn't intentional. So please just remind me below and I'll make sure I do it next time. And if it's urgent, I'll put it up on the community posts and I'll do a swatch just for you. Okay? Take care. Have a lovely day. See you all soon. Mwah. Okay, I have remembered. Now, one of them I can't do, sadly, because I cannot find one of the things. Somebody asked me to compare the powder pencil. I was going to swatch them both. The powder pencil in bedroom, the new powder pencil in black, to the bedroom black rock and coal. The powder pencil in black to the rock and coal in bedroom black. I cannot find the rock and coal because I very rarely use it, which is really weird. So I can't find it anywhere. So I'll have to do that on community. So watch out for that. And when I find it, I need to have a sort through anyway. But the other question which really stumped me was somebody was trying to choose between getting the new Charlotte Tilbury bronzer and getting the It Cosmetics Sunshine in a Compact. And this really stumped me, because if I had to choose between the two, I'd find it really difficult, because they're quite different, but they've got their advantages. Now, the Sunshine in a Compact comes, if you get it on QVC, with this tremendous brush. This is so good. I love this brush. Don't buy it separately on It Cosmetics website, because get it from QVC, because you get it in a set with this brush. This is a lovely bronzer, and it's got a lovely, it's got a lovely formula, but it is a lot drier than the Charlotte Tilbury one, which has got a lot more sort of cream to it. And I think it's really difficult, because Charlotte's just brought out this bronzer. I'm very enthusiastic about it, and it's so difficult because this does give you a lovely subtle glow. Now, it only comes in one shade, and it is very much a powder. So all I can do is sort of tell you the main differences. This is a lot more of a powder formula, only one shade, whereas you've got the choice of 4 shades with the bronzer. I'll have a look at the difference in size. So this is the tan, and this is Sunshine. Now you can see this tan bronzer of Charlotte's is a lot darker than that, but I would say that this is probably quite close to what I imagine her medium one will be. Let me just swatch Charlotte's and the Sunshine in a compact. I would say if you like more of a subtle bronzer, then go for this one. You see, it's not got as warm an undertone. And certainly if you are darker skinned, this would make you look ashy. So you would definitely go for Charlotte's. Charlotte's one in tan is like that. Charlotte's one blends out beautifully, but I've only actually used her airbrush with it. I haven't used this It one. Shall I use this? Because you can buy the brush separately, although it's not as good value if you do that. Let me try putting this on, because maybe that's the compromise, is to get Charlotte's, but to use, of course it picks up a lot of bronzer. And it made me think, you know, I'm going to use this to bronze larger areas with Charlotte's bronzer, because the brush is fantastic. And of course, the one that she has brought out with her bronzer is more for travelling around. This is a fantastic bronzer brush, and you can also sculpt with it. Although this is quite a warm bronzer, so it's not as good as for sculpting. That's it. I've summed it up. I think the Sunshine in a compact is more of a multitasker, because it is slightly more neutral. Well, it's a lot more neutral. You're more able to do contouring with it, but it's perhaps not going to be as nice a bronzer for the summertime in terms of the warmth, because it's quite a neutral colour. Now, in terms of the amounts, there's 16.17 grams in that one, and in Charlotte's there is 16 grams, so there's 0.7 of a difference. They're actually quite similar. The case isn't as nice, but it did make me think that you could, because this is refillable, isn't it? If you wanted to, you could probably get the pan out of this, and I don't know whether it would fit in this one. I'm just blathering on now, aren't I? Probably not, because this is more of an oval shaped, and that's more of a circle. So that's what I would say. This is more of a bronzer. This is more of a multitasker that you can sculpt your face with, and you can bronze your face with, and the brush allows you to sculpt and to bronze by using it that way. So that's more of a multitasker. This is more of a true bronzer. That's what I'd say. So that's depends on what you're after. If you want a really nice sun-kissed bronzer for the summer, then get Charlotte's. If you want a good multitasker with lots of product, then get the It one. And if you want a compromise, get Charlotte's and get this brush. I hope that helps. That was such a tough question. Now, before I go, I thought I'd finish. Now that I've remembered those things and I've stayed on a bit longer, I wanted to finish with a little tip. I haven't tried this, but I'm pretty convinced it's going to work. So I'm giving you the tip live, even though I haven't tried it myself. That's confidence for you. If you take your bronzer, Charlotte's one, wouldn't do it with the other one. If you take your bronzer on your finger and dab it onto your lips. Now it's matte, so it's going to look a bit weird. but don't leave it at that. And then take a collagen lip bath. I'm using Pillow Talk, but you could use the original, or you could use the other two, the peachy one or the rose one. I wouldn't put the doe foot because then you're going to pick up bronzer and put it back in there. But I'm just going to put some on my finger, on another finger that I didn't apply it with, of the collagen lip bath. Let me just get a bit more on there. And then it's going to give your lips a lovely sun-kissed glow. You might find that's a bit too orange for you. But in high summer, I think that looks great. You can do that with any of her powders because pigment is pigment. But I just thought I'd finish with that tip. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you for watching me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Love you all. Mwah.